I was asked, why would people spend 4 hours a day? And I think there's a lot of despair, and there's a lot of, we don't know any better. There's unprocessed hurt, anguish, anger, things that didn't, it's like, I would rather do something. What she says, this author says, when the pain of not doing something, of confronting your growth and growing, becomes greater than the pain of doing it, then you do it. But until then, it's like, why do it? It's fine, don't rock the boat. My mother used to say, why would I want to look inside the garbage pail of my psyche? I might not see like what I see. I say, better to know than not know. Better to know too much than too little. Better to know too soon than too late. Better to know than not know. Knowing is not a panacea. Knowing doesn't solve all problems, but you're a lot better off starting from reality than pretense and wanting it to be a certain way. Somebody says that guaranteed unhappiness, arguing with reality. Better to start from where it is, and then you can move forward from there. Why do people? Because they haven't had courage. It takes courage. Jacob Needleman, the author, was saying, quoting from Jung, I think, Carl Jung, that all neuroses is a result of unprocessed pain. It's like, instead of looking at what's, it takes a certain amount of courage to look at stuff, but it's capable, it's possible. If you kind of notice your life as a laboratory of seeing what's possible, you can see that as you take on certain amounts of things that need to be processed, there's a way to do it well. There's a way that can win. There's a way that succeeds. And it's your job to do that. I like to say, if the car of your life is going uphill and it stalls out, it's not the car's fault. You need to downshift. It's your responsibility to set up the life circumstances so that your life succeeds. It's Maria Montessori, the famous educator, said, never give a child an educational experience where there's at least a 50% chance of success. That's your job. That's your job, to set up your particular eco-niche so that it develops and nurtures and processes for you. Different people, was it Steve Allen? Remarkable, one of the most creative 8,000, 10,000, 40,000 songs. The man ran the Tonight Show for years. He used to sleep 12 hours a day. 12 hours every day. That's what he needed. He knew it. That's what he ran on. And look at that. So, and other people, 4 hours, Edison was like that. All the different gauges on the dashboard of your life, how much stress, how much sleep, how much food, how little food, how much exercise, how much little exercise. I used to design and build flotation tanks, isolation tanks for 10 years. The way in which we can take everything down to zero. Flotation tank is a device where it's like either a big bathtub or a small pool, where it's got a half a ton of Epsom salts in 10 inches of water, so you float on top of the surface. And the surface is enclosed in this box, big enough box, so that you can actually lose the sense of where your skin is, in the water, on the water. You can't sink because you're just out of the Epsom salt, you're floating, and it's held within a 1/4 degree of skin temperature. So it's neither hot nor cold, and the humidity is building up, lots of air pulling through, but no sound, zero sound. No light. You can take the lights all the way down to zero. I like that incredible slowness, that softness, that stillness. I used to run that for 1974, one of the first pilot studies of on the East Coast for sensory reduction float tanks. We take people who were for years, had been stimulated, and in 3 hours maximum, usually less, they were all processed, all clear. They take the first full breath of air they've probably had in 20 years. Kind of like, okay, now I'm ready. Don't come back until you're ready. Now I'm ready to engage the world. Now I'm ready. I used to think the space between the lives. It's like you're alive for a while, and then it's like there's lots of time in which you're kind of you're not alive, and they're like, all right, put me in, coach. I'm ready. It's like there's an eagerness to incarnate, which float tanks may remind people of. It's like, hey, you want to annihilate the world? You want to be gone? Well, you can be gone. on for as long as you want. And like I say, most people an hour and a half. I think the max was 3 hours. Might have been me, of like 3 hours. So it's like, okay, that's enough time away from this reality. I've thought about things. I've got that insight. Oh, now I know how to handle that. I'm going to handle this. So, big fan of float tanks. There's one way to kind of really slow things down. Talking about the gauges on the dashboard of your life. One of them's RPM. One's go really slow. I also a person that likes to go really fast. I like to have a lot of slow energy. I like to have a little fast energy. So I lead a wide repertoire. And people say, you're a man of excess. And I say, well, the balance of, you have to find the middle by finding the extremes. So